How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews, back with yet another review. And it's 1000th beer review time in the form of Genesee Brewing's Cream Ale. Yeah. Jenny Cream Ale. It's like a memory in a can. Seriously. 1000th of review. Let's cover that real quick. Definitely not my 1000th beer review. I have tons of backlogs that I've never uploaded. Conversely, it is definitely not the 1000th upload either. I'm pretty sure. It's the one that's numbered to 1000. Let's put it that way. I'm horrible at numbering my videos, so I probably have more even uploaded than that. But this is the one that gets the pomp, gets the circumstance, gets all the pub as the 1000th review. And to be perfectly honest with you, I chose this specifically for this occasion. I was torn. It was 1000 beer reviews. It's kind of cool. You know what I mean? At least I think it is. I put a lot of effort and time and shit into this. And, at first I was like, okay, what crazy, odd, obscure beer can I track down to do for my 1000th beer review? And then I was like, maybe I'll just pick a really old beer from my cellar that I've been holding on to forever. And then, I was sitting around with some friends at a local bar, eating a chicken cheesesteak, and they had Jenny Cream Ale, and I was drinking it. It wasn't a pomp bar. It wasn't a crazy, fancy beer bar. It was just, let's drink some beers, shoot some pool, have something to eat kind of bar. And I realized that that's where it started for me. You know what I mean? That's kind of where beer starts, I think, for a lot of us. And it just made sense. You know what I mean? It's just, from this standpoint, too, is that I really enjoy this beer. This is not like a troll. This is not a joke beer review. This is legit. You know what I mean? I'm not going to pull off a double dry hop nose or some kind of oak notes or wine from this. This is going to be a simple beer review. But it's also a beer that I enjoy. So we'll get into all that. Let's dive into it, see what she has to offer. As far as what it says in the can, pretty simple stuff. Genesee, New York's oldest brewery, founded 1878. Some truth to that. I know they were owned by, I believe, a specific company. I forget the exact name. But then they were sold, and then that company that bought them around the 90s returned the brewery name back to Genesee for marketing purposes. But it's been pretty much the same thing ever since. Let's see. Cream Ale? That'd be that. We're looking. They got date codes on here. I could decipher them, but I lucky enough that I know this is about as fresh as I can get in the area. Let's put it that way. So, can wise, it's fucking awesome. It's Jenny Cream Ale, man. Sure, the can pull tab different shape than it was back in the day. That's how they looked back in 50s, 60s, 70s when it originally came out in the 60s, I believe. So hasn't changed much since then. So let's give this a whirl. Hopefully freshly rinsed glass here. Haven't used this one in a while, so hopefully it's not a dirty glass mafia all up in here. Give that a pour. Gonna generate a gigantic head, but hopefully she doesn't stick around all that long. The cream ale heads don't typically, but I could be wrong. So I'm gonna give that a good pour. Let's get her all the way to the top, because we can sit here and talk about things and stuff. Yeah, 3 fingers, gigantic head, infinitely creamy, tight, compact bubbles. I mean, the drop from there to there is gigantic. So I knew I was going to get a pretty decent head on this. So it's not so much the beer than the pour itself. So blame me, not the beer. Just off white head, and it be clear. There is a slight haze on the glass from it being cold. But yeah, if I kind of wipe that down, you can see, I mean, that is magnifying glass clear. A little dirty glass mafia going on, but a very nice subtle kind of carbonation going on there too. Head isn't dissipating as quickly as I'd imagined it would, but such is life. Let's not dwell over the craptasticness of my pour and just see if we can actually pull a head off of this sucker without snorting some foam. It's kind of my goal right now. So go in there angled. Still got some foam. See? Can't help it. Yeah. Kind of like a Pilsner-y crackery malt. That's what I'm getting from this. I'm also getting, dare I say, just the micron of hop bitterness from it. Nothing too crazy. But to be perfectly honest with you, it's not so much what I'm getting from this beer, and the nose isn't crazy, and I'm not expecting craziness from this head, so it is what I expect. It's more what I'm not getting from here. Typically, a lot of these, larger produce, let's put it that way. I wouldn't put Jenny in the macro realm, to be perfectly honest with you. They are a regional brewery. They, granted, they do push out a decent amount of beer, but they're regional, and their brewery's actually pretty fucking cool. You can go in there and get, Scotch ales, and, it's not like if you go there, it's just what Jenny produces, do you know what I mean? Typically what you get in cans. You can get some pretty unique stuff, I believe. They have Scotch ale, they have Black IPA, they have a lot of different stuff, so if you're ever in the area, don't sleep on Jenny as far as stopping by the brewery and hanging out, because you'd be surprised the fucking beers they toss out of there. Anyway, when you're talking about a beer as mass produced as this, again, not as much as the others, but you're typically talking about what's in the beer as opposed to what's not, which is defects. You know what I mean? Chemicals. You're all funny. Your popcorn, your butter, your cream corniness. Your Dassaults of the world, your DMSs, stuff like that. None of it in here. Just that slight little bit of maltiness, sweet maltiness. And like I said, dare I say, just a slight bit of hop bitterness. And that be that. So, yeah. Doesn't smell super robust, super impactful, but at the same time, it smells pretty nice. Let's just dive in and see what she's got. Cheers. I can drink 8,000 of these. Yeah. A slightly sweet maltiness. There isn't hot bitterness there. There is. It's very light, but there is. It's generic bitterness. You're not getting fruit this, pine that, fucking whatever, citrus pithy, fucking whatever. There's a generic hot bitterness in there. There's a bitterness to it, but enough to balance off that sweetness in a really nice, smooth, creamy mouthfeel. Nothing slick, nothing funky, nothing crazy. Just so easy to drink and super welcoming. I fucking love Jenny Cream Ale. I do. It's just one of those beers, So, yeah, that's it. That's all there is to this beer, and that is not a bad thing. So let's do this. We're gonna do a little bit. We're gonna break it down like I usually do, and I'm gonna go on a little tirade afterwards. So if you're in for the beer review, you only got a couple minutes left. Let's talk about it. Is it one of the better cream ales I've had as of late? Yes. Again, I can drink this day, morning, noon, night, whatever, if the moment dictates it. We'll get to that in a minute. Value and availability, it's Jenny. If you're in the northeastern United States, chances are you can get it. 30 rack of this will run you anywhere from 20 to 25, give or take, bucks, depending on where you're at. Maybe a little bit less, a little bit more. Come on, baby. 30 rack of Jenny Cream, that does not suck. And if you like you like this. If you like well-made beers, because this is a well-made beer for what it's trying to be. If you like clean beers. If you like letting the moment dictate your conversation as opposed to the beer. And more specifically on that, if you like barbecues, if you like barbecues, if you like bonfires, if you like golfing, if you like go to the beach, if you like fishing, if you like activities, and you want a beer along for the ride, do you know what I mean? Then you'll like this beer, because that's where this is. And that's kind of the tirade I guess I'm going to go on now. Two different tirades. We're going to go on a tirade about what beer is, and we're going to tirade about pretty much 1,000 beer reviews. Anyway, so the catalyst for this, like I said, I was kind of tossing around what I wanted to do beer review wise, and it was me sitting around with friends, actually just kind of laughing and joking and having a good time, eating some good food, playing some pool, and drinking this. And that was like, this is where it all started for me, and it kind of dawned on me, and that's kind of like where this beer lands. You know what I mean? Like, there's so much pretension around what you should like or what you shouldn't like, not even just with beer, but in life in general, that sometimes it behooves us just to take a step back and actually just enjoy anything for what it is. Do you know what I mean? Again, I've had some crazy, amazing, impactful beers over the past several months. I had a 3% Bissell Brothers beer that blew me away with how much flavor and impact it had. Carton's boat beers kind of comes to mind when I think of beers like that. Locally, we just had a brewery open not too far away from me called Equilibrium. Their Photon is a sub 5% beer that is just super delicious. And I like those beers. I love those beers. And if you gave me those beers against this in a certain setting, I would definitely, more times than not, pick those beers. But sometimes, life calls for just having a good time and letting other things than the beer do the talking. And that's kind of where this falls. And I don't want to say that in a bad way either, because I think it's an enjoyable, good beer. That's the thing. It's just more ancillary. It's more accoutrements to your life rather than the end-all, be-all. It's not like a thing where you're going to drink and talk about it, and that's the whole reason why you exist. And that's the reason why I picked it. You know what I mean? Because it just went back to the roots of where I not into good beer, but just into beer in general. Because you have to get into beer before you get into good beer. Sure, there's a couple people that jump into the boat. Actually, there's a lot of people that kind of jump into the boat nowadays and just kind of get into beer just to get into beer. But, just to actually sit around, have a good time, drink some beers, enjoy yourself. That's what I think it's all about. And that's the point of why I did this. Now, let's flip to the other side of the script. The other thing going on, 1,000 beer reviews. We'll talk about that for a minute. That's fucking crazy. And like I said at the beginning, I've done way more than 1,000 beer reviews. I probably uploaded more than 1,000. This one just actually gets the moniker. And it's cool, man. It's cool to fucking happen. Not only, but major reason is because people watch them. You motherfuckers out there that watch them and comment and shit like that. It's fucking awesome. Listen, if I was doing this now and I was getting, what I deem to be a small amount of viewers per video, I'm not going to name a number because I don't want to offend anybody out there I shouldn't even say that. Fuck it. Like 20, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 views per video. If I was doing it for this long and this many reviews, I'd probably stop. Because it just wouldn't make any sense. I'd be like, okay, I'm not resonating with anybody. It doesn't make any sense. No one's watching. No one gives a shit. Why am I doing this? I'm probably fucking call it quits. But people watch and people comment and people reach out, and that's pretty fucking cool. And to actually get to this point is insane in of itself. I didn't know where it was going when I started. I just thought it would be fun. So I figured, fuck it, throw caution to the wind. Just kind of start doing beer reviews and have fun with it. And it has been nothing less than fun the whole fucking time. I've met some awesome people along the way. People I've met just on the internet. People I've met in real life. People I bump into people now, and I just randomly go to breweries, and people kind of say, hey, say hi to me, and I've never met them before, and that's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? And, yeah, just want to say thanks for you motherfuckers out there watching. It's pretty fucking cool that people watch me yammer into a goddamn frickin' camera about beer for way too long, especially this video. And that's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. So, thank you guys for tagging along for 1,000. Hopefully tag along for 1,000 more. If you keep watching it, definitely you'll make 1,000 more. And, yeah, keep on chugging. And chug some fucking good beer. And chug some fucking basic beer. And chug some fucking old school beer at the same time. There's room for a lot of different kind of beers based off of situation, time, text, tone, and tenor. A lot of T's. And, yeah. Don't shit on beer just because either you already had it or it was something that everybody else has had or somebody told you not to like it. That's the big one. A lot of people like beers nowadays because people tell them it's awesome, and hate beers because people say it's not a good beer. Judge for yourself. Let your mouth do the talking. Enjoy fucking beer for what it's worth. If you like it, if you taste it, and you fucking like it, and somebody else hates it, tell them they're a fucking asshole because you like it. And, well, don't tell them that you're an asshole. Well, tell them they're an asshole, that you're an asshole, and there's a whole bunch of assholes. Anyway, enjoy it for what it is, is basically what I'm saying. So there you go. Reviewing the books, diatribing the books, a little fucking memory road fucking reminiscing in the books, a whole bunch of stuff in the books. I know how Paul from PA Brew News likes me to say in the books. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this little trifecta of beerness. Hopefully you guys are chugging a fucking Jenny Cream right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.